So there is another concept that came to me that could be true or not. And I'm sorry if I'm confusing people, and I'm coming up with stories that people believe I'm either making up, or it's really happening to me, and then they follow through and they check on it, and it's like, oh, well, he's probably crazy because it's not happening to him. I mean, how could this be happening to him? So there is another concept that's come to me about what these other voices that I mean, literally, they sometimes, you know, again, I'm not suggestible. Like, if you say, okay, you're going to go and jump off a bridge, or you're going to go in and kill the president or something. I'm not going to do. I'm not to do that, because my inner being does not want to hurt anybody, and does not want to physically hurt anybody. I don't want to do anything to anybody. And if they're done based on these videos, if I've hurt people because of things that I've said, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm honestly just coming out with things that I want to come out with. And people are saying, well, why don't you, just go to a therapist and talk to them instead of doing it on the video camera and then posting it, because you're exposing your whole life to everybody. It's like, some people feel that way, and some people feel, hey, oh wow, it's you're really saying the things that you're feeling, and maybe maybe you're going through the same thing as, oh shit, okay. I don't know. This is what I'm kind of guided to do right now, and I'm doing. So it is a crazy one, but it kind of makes sense as to why the wealthy really want to not want to give up their wealth, because wealth does not want to give up. Like I said, wealth does not want to give up wealth, and wealth does not want to end poverty, and wealth wants to keep the structure exactly where it is. That pyramid structure with wealth, middle class, and poverty. So there is something, that in Catholicism, or whatever, the concept of heaven and hell, which is mostly in Catholicism or Christianity. The devil's bargain, where you make a deal with the devil, and then that becomes, right, the way that then you're able to become wealthy and become rich and become famous and become all these things. But your soul at that point, you're giving it up to that concept of hell. I mean, and if you believe in that heaven and hell, well, okay. So that kind of makes sense, right? In the concept of reincarnation, that does make sense, because there is no heaven and hell, or there is a concept of heaven and concept of hell after you've reincarnated enough times. And if you've reincarnated enough times and learned enough and got out of this 3D realm, then in a sense you would be in a heavenly type state, something that is not here, that we couldn't create here. And hell, of course, is never coming out of that, that cycle of birth and death, and always repeating it for eternity, right? Because you're always going back and forth. You never ascend. The soul never ascends, right? Because it is trapped here by something. So what can that something be? I mean, I mentioned before, wealth does not want to rid itself of poverty. It might say, like, well, yeah, we're going to pay poverty. Half my riches I'm going to give to poverty and see it's going to help. No. Unless wealth is eliminated, poverty will never go away. Poverty wants poverty to go away. Middle class is in, but wealth wants that wealth. Why does wealth want that wealth? Of course, because the power and the living better and the clothes and the women and the men and the everything and the family and the big and the royal type of feeling. Sorry, that they're feeling, right? It's power, right? That becomes important when you have that power, not to lose that power, right? Ever. And so they'll never give it up. So, but what creates that? And the concept of heaven and hell, that would almost be that would be a devil's bargain. So I would say every billionaire would have to make a pact with the devil's bargain, have to make a pact with something that allows that evil that they're creating. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the wealthy that I mean, they don't give a shit about me. Of course, they say I'm a fucking idiot, crazy dude that what does he fucking know? Buddy? You don't know, you don't feel, you're fucking poor. You don't know what it is. When you got wealth, buddy, you ain't giving that shit up. And I'm never gonna, so get the fuck out of here. Wealth does not want to hear that. And of course, that is, I mean, maybe there's a few people, I'm saying, nice people say, I'm wealthy, but I give everything. I try to give as much as I can. I say, wealth will never give up wealth. But why will wealth never get what? It's if there's a concept, but I don't believe in the concept of hell. I believe in the concept of reincarnation. That's my belief. Whatever you want to believe is your business. I believe in reincarnation. So what is that? It can't be a Satan type thing. I mean, there is a concept of Satan, but he's not going into each lifetime. He's already given us the coin, and that's already created that sense of of not being able to know enough about this life and this construct to reincarnate out of it. So what keeps that soul from ascending? Now we go back to the concept of parasites from other dimensions that take human hosts. That's that concept of a parasite is the same concept of demons or hell, okay, and Satan that's in the Catholic religion. So these parasites, you think, oh well, maybe they attach onto these 7 billion hosts and keep them from. No, it doesn't make sense, because what these voices that have come into my head, that I believe are maybe my guides giving me an example of what these things are, so I can explain them. These parasites are not attacking the 7 billion souls that aren't ascending. They're actually attached to the billionaires. Now hear me out here. That in their hearts and minds know that what they're doing to humanity is wrong. It is not godlike. It is not anything that God wants. They can go to church and fucking pray every fucking day until they die, and it is no way that there's a God anywhere that says, sure, I wanted you to be wealthy and every one of my other children to be poor. That's like having 20 children and 2 of them decide to take, God leaves, comes back, what happens? I told you to share everything, and you find that the two of them have created this pyramid structure where they're on top, and all the other children are holding these 2 up and carrying them fucking around. What are you doing? And what are you charging? Why are you doing all this to the rest of your brothers and sisters? I told you to share everything equally. But Dad, I'm here. And, I decided to be more like you, because now it's a pyramid structure. They're holding me up so I can be closer and be more like you. So God doesn't ever want wealth and poverty. That's something that I put out there to rise above. Everything that is here that is not good for humanity and is not good, that is something that he wanted you to rise above, take hold of, and choose the right path. If you're on the path towards a brick wall, and you're on and you have a path already, there's a path towards a brick wall, and there's a path that's straight and nothing blocking it. And instead of taking that path, you go straight for the fucking brick wall, and I ask you, why do you keep on always going into that brick wall when you have this path? I don't know. Something just tells me I need to go into that brick wall. And you do, over and over again. That's what we choose as a society, because we don't choose ever the right thing to do. No matter what side you are, no matter what, it might be a choice for a small group of people, a better choice and it's all money driven, and it's all profit driven, and it's all it's all having a better economy, and all these things that represent something that is not in any way, shape, or form part of the universe, part of the planet, part of any nature around us, part of what we believe in God, part of what we believe in angels and some kind of beings from other dimensions that help us and help us ascend and help us get to a certain level. No part of that. So to believe that the wealthy class are wealthy and will never give up that wealth because they believe that there's a God out there that believes that's kind of silly, because if you're smart enough to, I guess, make enough money off of fucking other human beings, you're probably smart enough to realize that there ain't no heaven waiting for you anywhere, bro. No matter what you do, give half away, give 2/3 away, give fucking 95% away, because you're gonna make it back anyway, okay? And it's still taking it away from, and you're still creating the poverty from them. You take something from them. You take something from 7 billion people, guess what? You got a lot of money. Lots of money. And that's what they do. They take the lives out of 7 million. So what would create a human being that is able, actually has to do that? Well, then there's the concept of devil's bargain. Maybe they made a bargain with the devil. No, well, maybe not. Maybe because of their status, maybe there are parasites that understand their status and attach to these souls that really never reincarnate the way they should. Because if the ascension of the souls coming into this planet are stunted by the wealthy class, right? That means they somehow figured out how to beat. I mean, I die wealthy, and guess what? I'm reborn as wealthy again. Whoo! Lucky me. I probably did something really good in that lifetime. That doesn't happen in the concept of karma. So somehow they've been able to beat that process. And I don't doubt that they have enough money to be able to figure it out and hire a whole bunch of Tibetan Buddhists to figure it out, for them and give them that information. How to reincarnate back, and I want my grandfather to be my grandson. He's just about to be born, and let's do it. Let's do it now because he's just about to go. I can pull the plug now, and then you tell me when. It's 40 days, and then you can get him into there. Let's do it. I'll give you a lot of money. So what would create a human being that can do that? I'm thinking it's this parasitic, because what happens, this is what these voices have done to me at certain levels, right? They've got me to a point of just about there. I'm in insanity, right? It's like right there. No, I'm not. I've reached the point, almost insanity. No, it's just I'm just about there. And it is so completely annoying that if this is what they do, these parasites do to these wealthy people, right? To this wealth class, right? To keep them from feeling what they need to feel when they consider themselves better than any other human being on this planet. If that is what they have, then it is understandable that wealth will never go away. Then you say, like, all right, I understand, because they've got some kind of like parasitic being that's attached to their soul that helps them to reincarnate back as the wealthy, and that's the devil's bargain, and that devil's bargain comes with a price. They have to become that evil that money is, right? They have to absorb it and become that thing. They have to take that coin that was given to them, that first one, and then make sure it's handed down to every one of their, because again, it's royalty, the same thing. You have that wealth class, and they still, they marry within cousins, they marry within families that have wealth too, and it's all this bloodline of wealth back and forth. And how do they keep that bloodline of wealth? How do they reincarnate back and not reincarnate as a poor or even a middle class? How dare you think that I would reincarnate as a middle class or poor? No, Daddy, you have to bring me back as wealthy, please. Please, you know how to do it, please. And that comes with a price, right? That's why if I ever had that kind of wealth, I would do everything in my power to remove that wealth from society. I would never have it, but if I did, that would be my goal. Because if I didn't, then that would be the devil's bargain, and that would cause that parasite to attach to me. And that's what I felt the last couple of days of going very deep into something that maybe I shouldn't have, but now I'm thinking, yeah, I did for a reason. And me getting to the point where I'm understanding that, yeah, I always beat up on that and those 1,500, 1,600 billionaires that are controlling the fate of humanity. I beat them up like, you fucking know. You should fucking know, man. Do you not understand what put you into this creation? What created you in this system? And then it should be guiding you to create a society and a system that is completely free of the thing that makes you so fucking powerful and keeps you on top of that pyramid. But then I'm thinking, like, if they do that, these parasites that are attached to them Drive them fucking crazy. And I wouldn't wish that on it. And what I felt last couple, I think it was my guys kind of like bringing these things in to show me what it's kind of like, and they were like, hey, you keep on beating on those wealthy, but this is probably what it is. And if it is that, then, then that is the problem. But you see, the problem is, it's not that the wealthy, these parents are automatically, because yeah, they want hosts that they can fucking feed off of. And how do you feed off of that? You feed off of the misery that the wealth creates, right? Feed right off of it. And the human host is like, yeah, I'm feeling great. And the thing is, yeah, and don't ever think that what you're doing is wrong. It's right. Get it? It's right. Because you still feel that power and that feeling that you're feeling right now. That's the devil's bargain. That's the thing that made you wealthy, and will keep you wealthy, and will keep your children wealthy, and will keep you in that higher level of the pyramid structure that is controlling humanity. And we can't really do anything about it, because we can't change them. We can't. They're going through something, and if we pull out, poor billionaires, they're just going to be, they're all going to go into insane asylums, because these things are going to feed off of them until they get the power back. Or they're going to go out finding another host. Thinking, hey, who can I infect now? Who can I say that, hey, don't worry about this sharing shit garbage. Make money, profit, do the things that you need to do. And then I promise you'll reincarnate back as that wealth that you love so much. We got a deal, brother? And you'll never, ever, ever have to worry about leaving this, this place, or ever not having what it is, and going to a heaven that doesn't care for you. Because guess what? Heaven doesn't want your wealth. And whenever you get there, you'll